What if I told you that the dreams you had last night, the falling, the chasing, the flying, are not yours alone, they are echoes? Echoes of minds that lived, feared, and slept 40,000 years ago, long before language was written, long before cities rose from the mud. Somewhere in a cold cave, lit by the flicker of a dying fire, a human being closed their eyes and dreamed. And what they dreamed about may be the oldest secret our species has ever kept. For centuries, scientists believed dreams left no trace, no fossils, no bones, no footprints in the sand of the mind. How could we ever know what a person imagined 10,000 years ago? It seemed impossible. A locked door with no key. But we were wrong, because the mind, it turns out, leaves fingerprints everywhere. On cave walls, in ancient burials, in the very architecture of our brains. And when researchers finally learned to read those clues, they uncovered something that changes how we understand what it means to be human. Let me take you back. Picture the last ice age. The world is frozen. Glaciers stretch across continents. Survival is a daily war against cold, hunger, and predators with teeth longer than your hand. Life expectancy is short. Fear is constant. And every single night, when the sun disappears and darkness swallows the land, our ancestors did the same thing we do. They slept, and they dreamed. Neuroscientists have discovered something remarkable. The parts of the brain that generate dreams, the brainstem, the limbic system, the visual cortex, are ancient. They are among the oldest structures we possess. They existed almost unchanged in humans who lived 30, 40, even 100,000 years ago. Which means one stunning thing. Those humans dreamed exactly the way you do, vividly, emotionally, in color, in story. But what did those stories contain? Here is where it gets fascinating. There is a theory in modern neuroscience called the threat simulation theory. It suggests that dreams evolved for one brutal purpose, to keep us alive. According to this idea, our dreams are a rehearsal, a training ground, a place where the sleeping brain practices facing danger, so that the waking body is ready when danger comes. And think about what danger meant back then. Not deadlines, not traffic, not awkward conversations. It meant a saber-toothed cat in the tall grass, a rival tribe over the ridge, a river that could drown you, a wound that could kill you. So if this theory is right, ancient humans dreamed about being hunted, about running through endless forests, about falling from cliffs, about being chased by something they could not see but could feel closing in. Does that sound familiar? It should, because those exact dreams, being chased, falling, being attacked, remain the most common nightmares reported by human beings across every culture on Earth today. In studies spanning dozens of countries, in people who have never met, who speak different languages, who live utterly different lives, the same primal dreams appear again and again. It is as if we all inherited the same ancient nightmare, passed down not in words, but in the wiring of our minds. You are still dreaming the dreams of the Ice Age. But survival is only part of the story. Because our ancestors did not only fear, they also wondered, and that wondering may have given birth to something even more profound. Anthropologists studying the earliest human burials found something they could not explain. Bodies laid to rest with care, covered in red ochre, surrounded by flowers, tools, ornaments, objects for a journey. A journey to where? These were people who buried their dead as if death were not the end, but a doorway. And many researchers believe the origin of that belief lies in dreams. Imagine it. Your mother dies, you grieve, you bury her, and then, one night, you fall asleep, and there she is, alive, speaking, walking beside you as she always did. You wake, heart pounding, and you cannot understand it. She is gone. You saw her body grow cold, yet you just saw her, spoke to her, felt her presence as real as your own hand. To a mind without science, without any explanation, there is only one conclusion. She is not truly gone. Some part of her lives on, and it visited you in the night. This, many scholars argue, may be the seed of the very first spiritual belief, the first idea of a soul, the first whisper of an afterlife. Not born in a temple, not written in a book, but born in the dreaming mind of a grieving human being 40,000 years ago who saw the dead return in sleep. Every religion, every myth of gods and spirits and worlds beyond, it may all trace back to that single, universal human experience, the dream of someone we have lost. Sit with that for a moment. The most powerful ideas in human history may have first appeared not in the waking world, but in the darkness behind closed eyes. And there is more. Look at the cave paintings of Lascaux, of Chauvet, of Altamira, tens of thousands of years old. Bulls and horses and lions painted with breathtaking skill deep inside pitch-black caves, in places so remote the artists had to crawl through darkness to reach them. Why? Why paint where no one could easily see? Why venture into the belly of the earth to create? Some researchers believe these caves were not galleries, they were dream chambers, places of vision. In the flickering torchlight, in the crushing silence and total darkness, the human mind enters altered states. Reality bends, visions come. An ancient people may have gone into those caves deliberately to dream while awake, to seek visions, to meet the spirits and animals that ruled their imagination. Some of the strangest images on those walls, half-human, half-animal figures, floating shapes, impossible creatures look exactly like the hallucinations the human brain produces in deep trance and dream states. We are not just looking at art. We may be looking at the recorded dreams of people who died before recorded history began, their visions painted in charcoal and ochre, waiting silently in the dark for 40,000 years, for us to find them. And now we come to the deepest mystery of all. If ancient humans dreamed of being chased, and dreamed of the dead, and dreamed visions on cave walls, what happened when they told each other those dreams? Around the fire in the long, dark nights they must have shared them. And a dream once spoken aloud becomes a story of a spirit, a story of a journey to another world, a story of a hero facing a monster in the dark. Do you see it? Dreams may be the origin of storytelling itself, the first myths, the first legends, the first tales that bound tribes together and gave meaning to a terrifying world. Everything humans have ever written, every film, every book, every legend told to a child, the whole vast river of human imagination may flow from a single source. The dreams of people whose names we will never know. But before we go further, there is a discovery so strange, so unsettling, that it forces us to question everything we thought we knew about the sleeping human mind. In laboratories around the world, scientists have been studying something called REM sleep, the phase in which our most vivid dreams occur. During REM, the eyes dart back and forth beneath closed lids, the brain blazes with activity almost identical to waking, yet the body lies completely paralyzed, frozen, unable to move. This paralysis is not an accident. It exists to stop us from physically acting out our dreams, from running, from fighting, from hurting ourselves in the night. Now here is the chilling part. This paralysis is ancient. It evolved in creatures that lived long before the first humans ever walked the earth, which means our distant ancestors in the deepest reaches of prehistory lay paralyzed in the dark every night, minds racing through vivid worlds, unable to move. And sometimes, as still happens to millions of people today, they would wake while the paralysis still gripped them, awake but frozen, aware but trapped. And in that terrifying in-between state, the dreaming brain would paint shadows in the room, presences, figures standing at the edge of the fire, something watching. Sleep researchers now believe this exact experience, sleep paralysis, may be the origin of humanity's oldest fears. The demon that sits on your chest, the witch in the night, the shadow figure at the foot of the bed. Every culture on Earth has a name for it. Every culture describes it almost identically. Because for 100,000 years, our ancestors woke frozen in the dark and saw the same terrible visitor. They did not know it was their own brain. They thought it was real. And so the monsters were born not out there in the world, but inside the sleeping mind. Think about how much of human fear, how much of our mythology of ghosts and demons and things that come in the night may have begun with this single, ancient, universal experience. But dreams did not only bring terror, they may have brought genius. History is filled with breakthroughs born in sleep, the structure of the atom, melodies that became timeless songs, scientific formulas that appeared fully formed in a dream. The sleeping brain, freed from the rules of logic, makes connections the waking mind cannot. And if that is true today, it was true for our ancestors as well. Somewhere in the deep past, a human being may have dreamed of a better spear, a safer path across the river, a new way to shape stone or start a fire, innovation whispered by the dreaming mind. It is entirely possible that some of the great leaps of early humanity, the tools, the techniques, the ideas that let us survive and spread across the planet, first flickered to life in the theater of a dream. The dream then was not a weakness, it was a superpower. A hidden engine of survival, creativity, and imagination that helped a fragile, hairless, slow-moving animal become the most powerful species the world has ever seen. And consider this. Every human who has ever lived spent roughly a third of their entire life asleep. Every hunter, every mother, every child, every leader, and every outcast across 100,000 years. A third of all human existence has unfolded not in the waking world of daylight and struggle, but in the vast, hidden, invisible universe of dreams. An entire secret history of our species, lived behind closed eyes, that has left almost no record at all. Billions upon billions of dreams, dreamed and forgotten by breakfast, vanished forever the moment the dreamer woke. We are only now beginning to understand what may have happened in that hidden world. So the next time you close your eyes and slip into sleep, remember this. You are not just resting, you are performing an act as ancient as humanity itself. The same falling, the same flying, the same faceless fear in the dark. You are dreaming the dreams of your oldest ancestors, connected across 100,000 years by an invisible thread woven into your mind. The cave is gone, the fire has long turned to ash, the dreamers are dust, but the dream remains, alive in you, every single night. And maybe, just maybe, that is the closest thing to immortality our species has ever known. Not carved in stone, not written in books, but carried silently in the dreaming mind of every human who has ever lived and every human yet to come. So tell me, what did you dream about last night, and how far back does that dream truly reach?